Andy Samuel Griffith, an American actor, comedian, television producer, singer, and writer, enjoyed a successful career spanning 7 decades in music and television. Known for his Southern accent, friendly characters, and distinctive voice, Griffith earned Tony Award nominations for 2 roles. He gained fame with leading roles in A Face in the Crowd and No Time for Sergeants before starring in The Andy Griffith Show from 1960 to 1968 and Matlock from 1986 to 1995. Before portraying Sheriff Andy Taylor, Griffith faced the challenges of show business like many actors. Along his path to stardom, he encountered hardships that, as one biographer observed, led to long-held grudges. Well then, in today's video, we will delve into the reasons behind Andy Griffith's long-standing grudges towards others that began early in his career and how Ron Howard, at a very young age, ended up telling Andy's very big secret in front of the world. Additionally, we will delve into his personal life, including his decision not to have children, fascinating facts about the Andy Griffith Show, and the challenges he faced behind the scenes. Don't forget to show your support by liking and subscribing to our channel for more content like this, and feel free to share your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. Stay tuned for an insightful exploration of Andy Griffith's life and career. After Griffith got married and started his career, he contacted Childress, who had become the president of a local Kiwanis club. Griffith wanted to perform at an event and wrote to Childress about it. However, Childress rejected his request without any hesitation. But as Griffith gained fame, the tables turned. Childress reached out to him, asking for a favor. Childress wanted Griffith to be the main attraction at a banquet. Surprisingly, Griffith never responded to his request. Years later, when the 2 men met again, Childress asked Griffith why he never replied to his request. Griffith replied by questioning why Childress didn't allow him to come to Waynesville when he needed some experience. According to Device, Griffith held on to long and bitter grudges against those who disappointed him, while rewarding those friends who remained loyal for the next 50 years. Griffith was raised in Mount Airy, North Carolina, a town that many believe served as the inspiration for the fictional Mayberry in The Andy Griffith Show. In the book Andy and Don, The Making of a Friendship, and a classic American TV show, Griffith's childhood friend J.B. Childress shared his perspective on the future star. Childress, who came from a large and impoverished family, saw Griffith as someone who had it all. According to author Daniel Device, Childress mentioned that he would occasionally tease Griffith, recalling a time when he stuck out his foot and nearly caused him to crash while riding his bicycle. After successfully making his way to the Broadway stage in 1955, a bunch of Griffith's former classmates from Mount Airy decided to make the journey to New York City to witness his stellar performance in No Time for Sergeants. These were people who had once been his neighbors and friends, but according to Device, Griffith felt that they had disregarded his existence until he became famous. Following the show, the classmates approached Griffith and requested to meet him backstage for autographs. However, Griffith turned them away, not out of arrogance, but due to a lingering grudge. In 2002, a decade before his passing, Griffith returned to Mount Airy with a newfound sense of forgiveness. A section of a highway spanning 11 miles was to be dedicated in his honor. During the ceremony, it was evident that his presence served as an extended olive branch. Griffith expressed his pride in hailing from Mount Airy and assured the community that he thought of them often. He vowed to no longer be a stranger to his hometown, stating, "I won't be such a stranger from here out." It's quite surprising to learn that the fatherly figure we all admired on TV, Andy Taylor, was quite different from the real Andy Griffith off-screen. In fact, Andy didn't have any biological children of his own. He and his wife, Barbara Edwards, adopted 2 children. Their family life wasn't as perfect as it seemed. Andy and Barbara met in 1949 while studying music at the University of California. Despite their desire to have children, they couldn't due to Andy's sterility. This fact was only recently revealed by Ron Howard in his book, The Boys. Growing up on a TV set made Ron Howard mature quickly. He was always surrounded by adults, leading to him overhearing many conversations not meant for a child's ears. It was during one of these instances that Andy Griffith shared the reason behind his inability to have children. He became sterile after contracting mumps as a child. Mumps, a contagious disease causing swelling in the face and neck, commonly led to sterility in men. Andy Griffith was unfortunate to suffer from this effect due to catching mumps before a vaccine was available. Today, the disease is no longer a severe threat thanks to the vaccine introduced in the late 1960s. Andy Griffith had been aware of his sterility for a long time, but it wasn't until he opened up about it on set that others found out. This revelation had an impact on the young Ron Howard, who was exposed to mature topics at a young age. According to Howard's book, Andy Griffith was known for his uninhibited storytelling, so it's possible that this wasn't the only instance of him sharing inappropriate stories. However, Howard was taken aback by this particular revelation because he didn't even understand what it meant to be sterile. Although he grasped some of the implications from the context of Andy's story, the concept of sterility was completely foreign to him and left him feeling scandalized. It's not surprising that Andy Griffith and Ron Howard had a close relationship during their time on the show, but it wasn't close enough for Griffith to explain such intimate matters to the young actor. Andy was friendly with everyone on the production team, but this was a conversation that could only happen between a father and son. So, Ron turned to his father, Rance, for clarification. On their way home from the set that day, Rance explained the dangers of mumps and what it meant to be sterile. Rance admitted that he and many others from their generation had contracted mumps, but fortunately, they weren't affected as severely as Andy Griffith. Thankfully, Ron Howard and newer generations don't have to fear this disease. Andy and his wife made the decision to adopt 2 children, a daughter named Dixie and a son named Sam, despite Andy's inability to have biological children. However, the story took a darker turn when it came to Andy Griffith's real-life role as a father. Many fans of the Andy Griffith Show may have expected him to be just as good a father off-screen as he was on television. Unfortunately, due to his acting commitments, Andy neglected many of his fatherly duties. Eventually, he divorced his wife Barbara and married Greek actress Solika Kasuto, leaving Dixie and Sam with a fractured family dynamic. Dixie has spoken out about the difficulties she faced during this time, revealing that her stepmother advised her against pursuing acting. Meanwhile, Andy's son struggled to cope with the changes in his family life. Following Andy and Barbara's divorce, Sam spiraled into alcoholism. This eventually led to a severe drug addiction, legal troubles, mental health issues, and anger problems. His life took a tragic turn when he was arrested for domestic abuse against his pregnant wife, resulting in a miscarriage. Sam was sentenced to 3 years in jail, which was later extended due to violent behavior. Despite efforts from his family to help him, Sam drifted further away. Andy Griffith distanced himself from Sam, and even Dixie had to cut ties. After years of substance abuse, Sam developed cirrhosis of the liver, leading to his untimely death. In his final moments, he tried to reconcile with his father through a heartfelt letter, but unfortunately, it never reached Andy. Sam passed away with the letter still in his hand. After Sam's passing, Andy Griffith's demeanor noticeably changed. His daughter revealed that he was deeply affected by the loss, to the point where he couldn't bring himself to attend his son's funeral. The reason behind his absence was the fear of attracting too much attention from the paparazzi due to his fame as Sheriff Andy Taylor. Andy's fragile state during that period led him to believe that staying away was the best decision. It's heartbreaking to think that his on-screen fatherly image might have hindered his ability to fully embrace fatherhood in real life. Andy carried the weight of guilt for years, blaming himself for Sam's death and believing that he could have prevented it if only he had been a better father. His struggles with addiction were no secret, and he ultimately passed away with many unresolved sorrows. Griffith was born in Mount Airy, North Carolina on June 1, 1926, to Carl Lee Griffith and Geneva Griffith. As a baby, he lived with relatives until his parents could afford a home. Without a crib or bed, he slept in dresser drawers for a few months. In 1929, his father started working as a carpenter and bought a home in Mount Airy's south side. Griffith grew up listening to music and knew he was from the wrong side of the tracks. He was shy at first, but found his way to make others laugh, helping him come out of his shell. At Mount Airy High School, Griffith developed an interest in the arts and joined the drama program. His love for music, especially swing, had a significant impact on his life. Raised Baptist, he admired Ed Mickey, a minister who taught him to sing and play the trombone. Mickey supported Griffith's talent until his graduation in 1944. Griffith was thrilled to be part of The Lost Colony, a play by Paul Green, where he played various roles before landing the role of Sir Walter Raleigh. He graduated from the University of North Carolina, UNC, in Chapel Hill, North Carolina in 1949 with a Bachelor of Music degree. Originally planning to become a Moravian preacher, he switched his major to music and became involved with the Carolina Playmakers. While at UNC, he was the president of the UNC chapter of Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia, the oldest fraternity in America for men in music. He also participated in student operettas such as The Chimes of Normandy, 1946, The Gondoliers, 1945, The Mikado, 1948, and HMS Pinafore, 1949, by Gilbert and Sullivan. After graduating, he taught music and drama at Goldsboro High School in Goldsboro, North Carolina for a few years, where he taught Carl Cassell. It was during this time that he began his career as a writer. In his early career, Griffith was known for his monologues, particularly the What It Was Football, where he depicts a naive country preacher attempting to understand a football game. The monologue became a hit single in 1953 and reached number 9 on the charts the following year. Griffith then starred in Ira Levin's teleplay, No Time for Sergeants, portraying a country boy in the Air Force. He later reprised this role in the Broadway adaptation and received a Tony Award nomination for Distinguished Supporting or Featured Dramatic Actor. This role also led to his collaboration with Don Knotts in the film version and the inspiration for the show Gomer Pyle, USMC, a spin-off of The Andy Griffith Show. In 1959, Griffith took on the lead role in the musical Destry Rides Again, alongside Dolores Gray, marking his sole appearance on the New York stage. This production, featuring music composed by Harold Rome, enjoyed a successful run of over a year, spanning 472 performances. Griffith's performance earned him a nomination for the Distinguished Musical Actor category at the 1960 Tony Awards, although he ultimately lost to Jackie Gleason. Additionally, Griffith showcased his acting skills by portraying a U.S. Coast Guard sailor in the film Onion Head, 1958. However, this movie failed to garner positive reviews or achieve commercial success. In 1957, Griffith made his debut in the film A Face in the Crowd, portraying a cunning and power-hungry country boy who rises to fame as a television host and eventually ventures into politics. Directed by Elia Kazan and written by Bud Schulberg, the film also features Patricia Neal, Walter Matthau, Tony Franciosa, and Lee Remick in her first film role. A 2005 DVD reissue of A Face in the Crowd includes a mini-documentary with insights from Schulberg and cast members Griffith, Franciosa, and Neal. Griffith reminisces about Kazan preparing him for his first scene with Remick's character, a teenage baton twirler who captivates his character during a visit to Arkansas. He also notes that the film has gained more popularity in recent years compared to its initial release. Griffith made his television debut in 1955 on the United States Steel Hour, appearing in the one-hour teleplay of No Time for Sergeants. This marked the first of 2 appearances on the series. In 1960, Griffith played a county sheriff, who also served as a justice of the peace and the editor of the local newspaper, in an episode of Make Room for Daddy with Danny Thomas. This particular episode, where Thomas's character gets stopped for running a stop sign in a small town, acted as a backdoor pilot for the Andy Griffith Show. Both shows were under the production of Sheldon Leonard. Starting in September 1960, Griffith took on the role of Sheriff Andy Taylor in the Andy Griffith Show on the CBS television network. The series was set in the fictional town of Mayberry, North Carolina, where Taylor, a widower, served as the sheriff and wise figure of the community. The show was filmed at Desilu Studios, with exterior scenes shot at 40 acres in Culver City, California. From 1960 to 1965, the show featured character actor and comedian Don Knotts, who was also Griffith's close friend, as Deputy Barney Fife. Fife was Taylor's best friend and comedic partner. Initially, they portrayed themselves as cousins on the show, but later this familial connection was dropped, and they referred to each other as childhood friends. In the series premiere, Fife addresses Taylor as Cousin Andy, and Taylor reciprocates by calling Fife Cousin Barney. The show also starred child actor Ron Howard, who was then known as Ronnie Howard, in the role of Opie Taylor, Taylor's only child. The show became an instant success. Although Griffith never received a writing credit for the show, he actively participated in the development of every script. Knotts received widespread acclaim for his comedic performances and won multiple Emmy Awards, as did Francis Xavier in 1967. Surprisingly, Griffith was never nominated for an Emmy Award throughout the show's duration. In 1967, Griffith was contracted with CBS for one more season of the show. Nevertheless, he opted to leave the show in order to pursue a career in movies and other projects. The series was then renamed Mayberry RFD, with Ken Berry taking the lead role as a widowed farmer, and some of the original characters making recurring appearances, either regularly or as guests. Griffith took on the role of executive producer, reviewing scripts and providing input on a weekly basis. He also made guest appearances in 5 episodes, including the pilot where his character, Taylor, married Helen Crump. Griffith's final appearances as Taylor were in the 1986 reunion TV film, Return to Mayberry, alongside his co-star Don Knotts. This was followed by 2 reunion specials in 1993 and 2003, both of which received high ratings. Following his departure from his still popular show in 1968, Andy Griffith went on to establish his own production company, Andy Griffith Enterprises, in 1972. Subsequently, he starred in several television series that did not achieve the same level of success, including Headmaster, 1970, The New Andy Griffith Show, 1971, Adams of Eagle Lake, 1975, Salvage One, 1979, and The Jaegers, 1980. In 1983, after undergoing a 7-month rehabilitation for leg paralysis caused by Guillain-Barré syndrome, Griffith made a comeback to television as the titular character, Ben Matlock, in the legal drama Matlock, 1986 to 1995, on NBC and ABC. Matlock, a country lawyer based in Atlanta, Georgia, became renowned for his southern drawl and his consistent triumphs in court. Griffith showcased his singing talents in various acting roles, notably in A Face in the Crowd, The Andy Griffith Show, and Matlock. Alongside his comedic monologues in the 1950s, he released an album of lively country and gospel songs during The Andy Griffith Show, featuring his rendition of the show's theme titled The Fishing Hole. Later on, he recorded successful albums of traditional Christian hymns for Sparrow Records, with his most acclaimed work being I Love to Tell the Story, 25 Timeless Hymns, 1996, achieving platinum status certified by the RIAA. This album also earned him a Grammy Award for Best Southern, Country, or Bluegrass Gospel Album at the 1997 Grammy Awards. Additionally, Griffith made an appearance in country singer Brad Paisley's music video Waiting for a Woman, 2008. Griffith encountered his initial significant health issue in April 1983, when he received a diagnosis of Guillain-Barré syndrome. This condition left him paralyzed from the knees down, rendering him unable to walk for a duration of 7 months. Subsequently, on May 9, 2000, Griffith underwent quadruple heart bypass surgery at Centara Norfolk General Hospital in Norfolk, Virginia. Following a fall, Griffith underwent hip surgery on September 5, 2007, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. Tragically, on July 3, 2012, Griffith passed away at his residence on Roanoke Island in Manteo, North Carolina. The cause of his death was a heart attack that occurred the day before, at the age of 86. His death certificate indicated that underlying health conditions such as hypertension, coronary artery disease, and hyperlipidemia contributed to his passing. As per prearranged plans, no formal services were conducted at that time, and he was interred in a cemetery on the island within 5 hours of his demise.